Hey everybody, it is Nolan and Jason here with Plumbing Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today's topic is going to be interesting, I think, so I'm going to read it out. It's a long one. Propaganda, punks, confusion, and willful ignorance why your online marketing fails every time. Why your plumbing online marketing fails every time.
Right.
Got to get the keyword.
Gotta get the keyword.
All right, so so I go over this, and I'm going to, in this podcast, I'm going to explain what happens to guys' mindsets, plumbers' mindsets, just a business owner, and how they can combat some of this and do better. And then I'm going to give some advice on things too, I think.
Okay.
So I get asked this a lot, and I asked somebody the other day, it's like, what would you like to hear more on the podcast? They said, well, more marketing. And I was like, isn't that all we talk about all the time?
It's like the entire subject.
So I think what he meant was he wants to hear more helpful advice, right? So we talk around the point of marketing, but we don't, so I'm going to give some helpful advice on here. I'm going to explain what I think is bad propaganda, punks, and confusion. Okay. What I call punk asses, charlatans, cheats, thieves that are just all over our industry.
Yeah.
So digital marketing agencies, 95+% of the time, are really bad people. Whether it's a large national company or whether it's a guy out of his house.
Yeah.
And they both can be equally bad. I think the guy out of his house can be worse because they'll gig you for $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
And
do nothing.
And do nothing. Yeah. Or they might take more. And then anyway, so the average deal, let me explain it like I'd explain to somebody if I'm talking to them on the phone. Because at the end of a conversation, sometimes I'll say, let me point out a few things that are different about me. Because a lot of times people will hear it and say, well, Nolan, that's SEO. Or do you do SEO? And I'm like,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
do you explain SEO to them, and then they say, do you do SEO?
Explain SEO.
That's what I've been talking about for the last hour.
Yeah, that's what this is. So the things that are different about us, and then I'll explain what people do, is that we didn't ask for a ton of money down. We're a great price per month. We are month to month. We lose money when you start. And even though we'll do paid ads for you, I didn't include paid ads in the beginning.
Right.
And you're talking.
We don't push it.
We don't push it. So the reason that's important is because I got no way to screw somebody from the very beginning. If somebody quits within several months in, we've obviously lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because somebody will give us, I don't make any promises on anything because there's been a lot of inflation and other stuff, but we're a really good deal still.
Yeah.
And I'm typically $99 to start and more than that per month.
Right.
So then the monthly fee kicks in for an extremely full-fledged suite of services on design, code, content, help with reputation reviews through our own proprietary software called Data Pens, speed, SSL, URL structuring, citations, and the list goes on and on and on. Over 100 points of schema. We do these massive websites to take care of what we call the big show, which is where almost all the leads come from.
Right.
Because that's what someone says. So you just do Google. So you just go after the scraps and leads after people that cost hundreds of % more. You don't understand the big show.
Right.
We participate in the big show and can do the other stuff. The reason I don't choose to sell you that other stuff up front is because when you go get a return on investment that's 500% more than organic, you're likely to cancel. But if I can get you on the big show where you show up on organic keyword terms, map placement, reputation reviews, where 70+% of people click that go to Google, which by the way, 80+% of people go to Google to look for your home services, then they stay for a long time.
Right.
If I try to sell your paid advertising, they don't stay. The reason these charlatans, cheats, thieves, punk asses sell this stuff and sell this propaganda stuff to you, propaganda has a little bit else I'll talk about, but the reason they sell this to you is because they can't do the big show.
Right.
We can do it because we're goats and we're the best that there is, and it's been 12 years and we own a software company. I mean, we got a lot of stuff here that we beyond a shadow of a doubt say that if someone will work with us and get some pins and do some data pen work, which is a 12-year-old could do, as simple as hell, then we can get you up in ranking.
I had a client today.
Yeah.
I was talking to, and he was like, I didn't think I was going to do this data pins thing because I'm not real big in technology. And
Right. I can tell by the way you're portraying this gentleman. Yeah.
Madison took me through it, and I wasn't, but then I went and tried to do it. It was just as easy as you said it was.
Oh, cool.
And it was happy. You know, I thought it was going to be a bad conversation, and it came out great the other end. So I was like, oh, awesome. That's great to hear.
We're working on new software right now, as you know, and I don't blame people. There's nothing wrong with people. I'll go off on a little tangent here, a little tirade about this. It pisses me off that when I told you I got in this business indirectly by a guy named Brent from Level 10.
Yeah.
I think it was Brent.
Brent.
I
knew it. Remember, I worked for him 10 years before.
He was a cross between douchey and like cocky and rude, which I'd coined web geek cocky. And I was like, hey, dude, don't talk to me like that. I may not know what you're talking about, but don't talk to me like that. I mean, I'm stupid. You misunderstand me. And these people are fine. Who the hell wants to go do plumbing work and manage that business and then go do a bunch of paperwork?
Yeah.
Or have a program that's complicated. People could do it, they don't choose to. Somebody that's doing plumbing, but running a plumbing business isn't acclimated to do that. Otherwise, it would have been a stinking accountant, you know? And so the software should be easy to use. But anyway, it's just a different thing. Nolan Walker here for Data Pins. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called Data Pins, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapins.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by data pins, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords, and remember those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pins. I think you'll be happy you did. Where did you get off on that one, though?
Yeah. No, I don't remember. You said, you just said something about do the pins, they're easy to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just trying to reinforce they are, in fact, guy who was resistant to it.
Right.
And kind of technology averse
could do that
actually easily. Confirmed to me today that we had made it easy to use.
Yeah. You're talking a 45-plus-year-old guy probably that's
minimum. Yeah.
That's kicking butt now doing pins. And so if someone will do this stuff, it'll work for them.
Right.
So we're able to get that done. So what people don't realize, and they start to kind of realize it after they've been screwed over and over, they know somebody's helping people get up in ranking. And if they're not completely psychologically burned up or messed up, they're going to keep trying. And they finally find us because they're trying to get more specific and make a more wise decision.
Right.
And so they're trying to get their plumbing company, plumber Martin going, and they're like, oh, try these guys. I keep getting screwed around. But why do I keep getting screwed around? Keep getting screwed around because there's punk asses and charlatans and thieves all the way from multinational companies to some punk ass at his house.
Right.
They got the Ty Lopez course on how to manage social media. Well, that's absolutely true.
I got a friend that took that course.
Okay.
I gave them endless shit about it.
I don't hate people. I'm not hating on somebody for trying to make money and learning something, but those people are set out into the world to attack plumbers and other people and take their money from them when they have no skill sets.
Yeah.
And they don't even know if the money spent returns. And it usually doesn't. The client thinks it does because they see reports, but then they innately know it doesn't because they don't actually have money in their pocket and they cancel the services.
Right. And we have a whole podcast somewhere that's reports are bullshit.
Yeah. Reports are bullshit. I need to do another bullshit one.
We should do another bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, so people get confused by it. But the reason that you're confused by it is because you go to somebody and you call them in good faith. The plumber's doing nothing wrong. Right. Hey, can you help me? Absolutely. Sucker, ching. It's like
the first time you try, the first few people you call, it's perfectly natural to assume they're telling you the truth.
It is. And it's perfectly natural to try the cheapest thing you can find.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that either.
If you've never done it before, and this guy over here is saying $2,000, and this guy over here is saying $200, and you don't know what they're saying, it makes perfect sense.
You call 5 people, you got $199, $499, $1,000, $1,500,
yeah,
$2,000, and you're like, I'll try the $199.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah. So you try that several times, it doesn't work, and then here's the big problem. I'm gonna try the $3,500 guy.
Yeah, that going from the cheapest to the most expensive.
Well, or just no. I don't know if that's bad or not, but they go and let's just say they try the $2,000 guy, then they screws them.
Yeah,
the guy doesn't know anything, and so then they go up and they go, well, Nolan, my story's kind of similar to that, but I tried a guy. They were spending $1,200 on my SEO, but I paid another $3,800 to paid ads. And then that guy's, and then this is a really pretty common scenario. I used to call it the shell trick.
Yeah.
And so they move all these numbers around, and you're like, oh yeah, 5,000 seems reasonable. And then they send you a report, and they're like, hey, we got $500 for your mapping and the Google Business Profile Optimization. We got our SEO at $750. We got a couple fees over here for this, and we got your Google Ads management, and of course your slush fund for our, whatever, for our internal Coke party. So, but we play ping pong and a game and snort Coke.
And cash your checks.
Yeah, and cash your checks.
The endorsing the check is actually the most work I do.
That last bit was that's what they think we do in the office.
Oftentimes.
But that's not true. What that money would go now, you might have some punk ass living in the Philippines or some crap spending your money.
Yeah.
Or on some beach somewhere, a digital idiot nomad that you hired with no skill sets or resources, which you didn't mean to do, but they hired him, and then they're like, God, I paid a lot of money, I paid a little bit of money, everybody screwed me. Well, when you paid $199, you didn't have any ability to get services.
Yeah, you weren't paying enough for any labor to happen.
Yeah, I ask people that all the time. It's like, well, how much could you do for $299? Yeah. And it's like, well, I can snake your drain.
I can show up and look at your toilet.
Yeah. So someone else, that's where someone's brain gets off and where they end up screwing themselves. Like once, twice, shame on you. 2-3 times, shame on me. You're the one causing the problem.
Right.
And then you try something. Well, this guy was $199. I'm willing to go up to $299. And it's like, really, how much work can you do for that? So if you're not paying any money at all, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to work because you can't get services. And then I'll ask, well, how much can you do? And they'll be like, well, but that's not me. It's like, no, these are skilled people if you actually got skilled people.
Right.
And so someone will call me and say, God, they can't afford to do anything but try to save your business when you call to cancel at $299. That's literally all that can happen. But it's true, right? But
no, I'm sorry. I mean, that's what they're doing. That person is paid to be on the phone and talk you into staying.
So somebody so they got the $1,200 guy, but they actually spent $5,000, and they do the black box billing and the shell trick. So they take all the black box billing and shell tricks. They take all the money, and then they pay. Well, I'm paying $3,800 out in advertising, pay $1,200 in all these fees, and then they break it all down, and it looks logical, but really only like $1,800 of the $3,800 went to paid ads. Yeah. And so they might pump a few extra paid ads in the beginning, and then they keep taking more of it, especially if you did black box build because you spent all 5,000 of them instead of credit card directly with Google.
Right. What he's talking about is what they're doing is they're really just paying for PPC paid ads.
Yeah.
They're telling you it's broken down a different way, but they figured out either just from experience because they've done this to a lot of people or just from playing you personally how much they need to spend to keep you from leaving.
Right.
They don't actually care if you're happy or if you're getting business. They just care that you stay.
Right.
So they figure out exactly how much they have to spend on paid ads and they pocket the rest. I have spoken to people who are in that game and they will flat out tell me that their goal with any client is for them to pocket 50% of what comes in.
Yeah.
Pay 50% into paid ads and just keep the rest.
So whether
and no other labor takes place.
That is the industry standard, guys.
Yeah.
So
this isn't some shady guy in the corner. This is what most of them are trying to do.
That isn't one time we heard that. We've done this for 12 years. That is the industry standard to take 50% of your paid ads.
Right.
Nickel and dime the other thing. The problem with this scenario is paid ads cost hundreds of percent more.
Right.
there's nothing wrong with buying a paid ad or buying a lead. It's just that they cost hundreds of percent more.
Right.
You might not, to the point that you may not make a profit. The $1,200 or whatever was allocated towards SEO actually isn't done either.
Yeah.
They don't do anything. There's no resources there for it. And the one thing that would have made it work really well for you, which is the organic optimization, is not done, but you're paying for it.
Yeah. It has no chance of happening.
The confusion comes from all this stuff. Propaganda is everywhere. I mean, propaganda is from software companies selling funneling, email companies doing email drip campaigns, people on social media that only run social media, pushing social media.
Yeah.
Because they got the social media course, or they can do that easily, right?
Yeah.
Slap-on techniques and other software where it's like, oh, I'm going to do citations, and you get a report each month, and that's all they do. And they're like, well, manage your Google business profile and get it up in ranking. And then they slap it on with an automated citation program, and then send you automated reports each month. And
These are the citations we did these months.
yeah,
And you're like, oh, they did like 100 of these. That's awesome. But if you dig through and find them and you really look at them, you realize that 99 out of or maybe 100 out of 100 are completely irrelevant.
they're worthless,
Yeah,
and you pay
they're utterly worthless.
$199 a month or $299 a month just to run the Google map, and they do nothing. And by the way, one thing might help a little bit, but won't really move the needle because the algorithm checks everything. So
Right.
you've got to go through and do a full-fledged marketing campaign to get digital signaling to run your brand in order for Google to want to show you online. And once organic works, which is the big show, where you get the majority of people going to Google, over 80+%, and 70+% that go there click on a non-paid item, that is where all the freaking leads come from.
Right.
And if you had that working, you probably wouldn't pay for paid items anyway.
You wouldn't need to.
You wouldn't need to, and probably wouldn't want to.
The only time you might is if there was like a act of God kind of thing, like a flood or something.
Yeah.
And you need to make sure that you don't necessarily miss out, because then so much business comes in and people are standing hip deep in water, and they will hit the paid ads at that point because they just hit the thing at the top of the screen.
And they could have a new truck on the road, or just need to keep a guy busy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with even having an ongoing Yelp account on the site if it works for them. Most people don't like any of these auxiliary lead sources, but there's nothing wrong with one if it works for that person.
Right.
My only point is, and I'm very clear about it. Yes, we have people here that are certified to do Google ads. They're just going to cost you 300 to 1,000% more than your organic ads.
Yeah, and that's not us. That's just how much the ads cost.
Yeah,
we don't control that.
It's not my fault, but that plumber's going to transfer that anger onto me.
Yeah.
And then cause a higher attrition on the account as a whole, even though I didn't have jack shit. Because so they'll spend like they'll spend like 3 times the amount they're giving us to Google or to Facebook.
Right.
Or Instagram, and then blame the poor conversion or the return rate on investment to us.
Right.
It's not my fault that Google's popular and Facebook is popular and they have competitive stuff going on.
It's not our fault that you have a competitor in your market who already pays $10,000 a month for ads. So in order to be competitive, you have to
pay more for ads.
You have to pay more.
Yeah.
You can't way undersell him and get any traction.
I told you that I got a lead the other day, and the guy said that, and this is a crazy thing too, just so that people understand the confusion of all this. I'll bring in the term willful ignorance here.
Okay.
So people know this. They think they know this. It's good to show up on Google, right? And then they get confused by everything else going around. But at some point, they're just willfully ignorant towards it. Because they know that they should get up there, but they don't try. They quit trying.
Right.
And so, but I'll segue one more time. So the reason you know that Google's great, and if people try to debunk it, that it's the big show where all the leads come from, where most of the leads come from, is that every plumber that they want to be like dominates these spots.
Right.
There isn't. And
the top plumber in town is the guy that's #1 in mapping and #1 organic. It's not the guy paying for the top ad.
So in any town that's big, in any metro area that's big, it's possible there's an anomaly to what I'm about to say in a town of like 50,000 or 100,000 that's isolated.
Yeah.
Because they've been there forever and they got 50 trucks on the road in tiny town.
Yeah.
Billboards. That shit don't exist in a large metropolitan area.
Right.
If any plumber is in a large area, the people that are the largest ones are in Pack 3 mapping a lot of times and top organic rankings. Those are the ones that are the largest ones in town.
Yeah. Now, sometimes those people will also pay for Google for paid ads.
Yeah, they can.
Because they're making so much money from the organic that they've got the money to take that top paid ad spot because they're trying to maintain shelf space and dominance on the front page.
Right.
That's the only reason they're doing it, is to make sure that no matter where you are on the front page of Google, you're seeing them.
It's more evidence that it's such a big show that they want to be on it no matter
what.
Right.
Right.
But be that as it may, they're still going to get 70+% on the non-paid items.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But like I said, that all of their money to pay for the paid ads comes from the organic.
Right. Agreed. So they wouldn't be able to afford to pay for those ads without the organic ranking.
Right.
And most of these guys understand this because they've tried to go pay for ads without being in ranking. They can't afford it because the rate of return's bad.
Yeah.
So they can't go up in it. There's a lot of explanations on stuff like this, but someone knows that this is true because of who's up there. And you said the other day, they're not up there because they're big because they're up there.
Right.
Yeah. So
they're confusing cause and effect.
Right. So most people will tell me they're up there because they're big. No, you know that's not true.
Yeah.
Deep down, you know that's not true. That's where some of the willful ignorance comes in. That's what I was going to talk about. So you know that's probably not true, but you'd like to tell yourself that. They're big because they're up there, not up there because they're big. And so when you give up on it, it's just due to confusion and other stuff, which is fine. But people miss this game eventually and just give up. Willful ignorance on the deal. But it fails due to this. Now, at some point in time, people have an epiphany and go, there's got to be somebody out there. I believe.
It's like two of my competitors are up there. Well, someone's doing that. Somehow it works.
Yeah. They're not up there because they just happen to stay up there. They were big, therefore they get up there and they just stayed up there. No, those people are fighting somehow to get up there. And they're signaling going through digitally that Google says you deserve to show up here.
Right.
And you can, if you choose to, play the game and get yourself digitally recognized and get into position. And if you have somebody like us, I've said this on a couple now, I don't think there's anybody better than us at this point in time. We've done this for 12 years. People are up there through signaling.
Right.
People choose to hire us and call us. We're the baddest dog on the block. We fight harder than anybody. They can be in a small town or a large town. They can't bring a bigger baller. You know, we are the one. We're the bruiser coming in to beat people, and we will beat them bloodied on behalf of our client. And all, by the way, white hat, legal stuff, legit stuff. Because that sounds.
We will beat them bloody in a perfectly gentle and legal way.
In a perfectly legitimate way. We are the baddest fight in the game. Yeah. We will go Conor McGregor on their ass. But they will, but that is by you getting high quality skilled work, which provides better signaling, using proprietary software, which I own a different company that is ours. We have that as a data pins. And if you use that stuff and have us and do just a couple of simple things on your end, you can fight these people and win.
Right.
So
you can take that spot.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Right?
I will go to their place of business and beat them bloody. Oh wait, no. Figuratively speaking.
I apologize. I got a little aggressive there. I'll lower it back down.
We'll lob pipe bombs into their door.
I've got a little extra energy in my 49-year-old frame here from taking some good supplements recently. So, feeling better. But not looking to beat anybody. But we are the baddest dog to bring with them, you know? I mean, we just are. Tell somebody anything. It's like, you're the brand ambassador of your brand. And Google, the biggest show there is, doesn't know anything about you unless you tell them.
And if they don't, you don't exist.
You don't exist.
A ghost.
You'll have a horrible life from a company perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Which probably means you have a horrible life. You got no money. What are you going to do? You know, got to have money to have fun and to be healthy and everything else. Keep your wife happy. All that kind of stuff. Got to have some sort of money. But anyway, if somebody's chosen to do that, that's another thing too. Is like, I'll say this for a minute because I've been meaning to say this for a while because I go off on this stuff. Not everybody's meant to own a business or needs to own a business, but these guys decided to own a business.
Yeah.
And then they call themselves business people, which is fine. But not all people are business people, even when they own a business.
Right.
And there's no shame in anything. I'm not dogging the dude at 7-Eleven checking me. I'm not like I don't go up and go, "Ooh, what the hell are you doing here?" Come on, man, get with it.
Largely because you want there to still be someone at 7-Eleven when you go there.
I don't view humanity that way, really. Yeah. But when I'm talking to people, and I never say the other side of it, I'm talking to these business owners.
Yeah.
I'm a business owner, they're a business owner. They chose to be a business owner.
Yeah, if you chose to do this,
they chose it.
This is what the stuff we're saying is what you need to do to make it work.
Some of these guys are just a sub, just a contractor, which is no shame. But if they want to get big in marketing, they've got to go do this stuff. I have people that look at me that'll say, "You pay too high of a price for what you do." I get that quite a bit, actually. Yeah. I think you've a couple times made reference to that. Like, is it worth it? I think it is. I choose to do what I do, and I'm kind of ruined at some point. I was telling someone the other day, I was like, "Well, you slow down." Well, I don't know.
I'll die.
I might die. Yeah. It's like, well, you go get a job for something. Well, I mean, I'm way past that, and I'm successful. And
well, you've told me yourself that you're unhireable.
No one would hire me. No, I'm unhireable. And I think that early on, I was semi-unhireable. So I go so strong on this, I want to say the other side of this. You don't have to do any of this.
Right.
You may not even be the guy for this. They get mad. Most people get mad if they think they own a business to be told that. Right?
Yeah.
But they may not be a business owner. They may just run a company, or they may just do work.
They may just be a good plumber.
They may be.
And there's nothing wrong with being a good plumber.
But if you don't figure out the marketing side of it as a good plumber, you may as well go work for somebody else.
Right.
So
just go work for a guy who does do the marketing side.
I'm not
and
telling
be
you
a really good plumber for that company.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you in a negative way or condescending or that's a give up.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a plumber and working for someone else who has this shit figured out.
Right.
So this is good stuff, actually. I like it. So, but if you're gonna work for yourself and run a business, you better figure this shit out. And if you don't figure this shit out, you'll probably have a worse time of it working for yourself than if you would have just worked for someone else.
Right.
Because you're trying to glamorize it, being a business owner without being able to have the skill sets and the tools to run the business properly, which is going to make it very difficult for you to enjoy your life. Just go work that time and go home and wipe yourself clean of it. That's the benefit of working for someone else, part of it. So there's no shame in anything, really, in any position in life. It's just that presumably anybody that would listen to me wants to run a business.
Yeah. You would think if they were watching this at all that they're already in that position.
They want to run a business.
Nolan Walker here with Plumbing Webmasters. I'd like for you to consider becoming a client. We have a lot of great people that work here at the company. We help hundreds of clients. We've done this for 12 years now. We help clients dominate online. We're a digital marketing agency. I honestly don't think there's anyone better than us at this point in time. We'll help you with your design, your code, your content. We'll help you rank on Google Maps. We'll help you reputation reviews organically. We even have proprietary software that I own in a different company called DataPins, DATAPINS. DataPins allows you to post pictures of jobs with captions and geo coordinates right onto the website. It'll take 90 seconds. A 12-year-old could use it, but you'll be able to post daily and get daily activity, great content. It even posts it back to your Google account. It even texts and emails the client. So one simple thing where you pick a couple of photos you took, wrote a caption, put in the client's cell phone number and hit pin, and boom. And then that is in addition to all the other things that we do for you for SEO. We can also help with paid ads and other things too. But man, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. You can check us out at plumbingwebmasters.com.
I'll leave with this. It's hard to figure all this stuff out, but you have to.
Yeah.
But you have to.
It sucks, but you have to.
You got to figure out the marketing end of it. So if there's financing and accounting and taxes, you can't not do it. It'll take you out of business.
Right.
If there's procedures and dealing with people, if you can't manage and do a little bit, you'll go under. If you can't manage expenses and not get out of control, you'll go under. If you can't get leads and market and brand your company and be your brand ambassador, make sure that you're showing up in ranking and all that, probably go to business, or at least won't exist well.
You go out of business faster than all those other ones combined.
Yeah, all the other ones combined, because if you had enough marketing and fundraising off the hook, a lot of stuff's fixed.
Yeah.
So there's 4 or 5 pillars to running a business that if you don't get it, you're done, or you're not going to have a good time of it, basically. And it's difficult, and I feel for people because there's so much false propaganda and bad companies out there.
Right.
And they're just trying to spend good money, but there's no guarantee that anybody signs that says, I'm going to start a business, and when I spend money, it'll return well with marketing people or parts or expenses.
It's literally anything. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no guarantee that when you spend $1, you're going to get it back. It's your job to find great professional services like plumbing webmasters and find people and set up systems and structure that your business can survive and do well.
Right.
And some of it's confusing, so I wanted to come on and explain where these leads are coming from and where stuff. I said I'd enter something before I give a little bit of extra stuff. So I'm going to give some benefit to somebody on something to do. If you can't do anything at all, I say this one a lot. It's so easy. Just get your Google business profile.
Right.
It's free. Get it verified. Get it verified, hopefully at a legit office location, not a PO box or a share space or flex office or virtual space. So you can put a decal on a door and it's your plumbing office. You get a postcard and verified.
Right.
And if you can't do that, the secondary one, which none of these can be guaranteed, especially this one, but it'd be your home address. Sometimes they'll take it, sometimes they won't. No guarantees.
Yeah.
But then get reviews to that and ask clients for reviews, and then get a cheap website. If you're not going to get great services, just get a cheap website and connect it. This doesn't guarantee you'll show up. It'll just get trust and tenure started with Google.
Yeah. Get your domain, register it yourself.
Right.
Make sure you control it, and make sure you know where it's registered and what its status is, and you know the passwords and everything to get into it.
I don't deal with that as much. Jason deals with it more than me, and obviously has some emotional stuff tied to it.
Well, I mean, it's frustrating because it's actually an extremely important aspect of digital marketing. You need that. That is a lot of people think that the website is their online real estate.
Brand.
No, the online real estate is the domain.
Yep.
And you need to own that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's your primary piece of real estate. You need to own it. You need to control it.
Right.
And so many times we get a new client. When I talk to them, it turns out they let somebody else register the domain for them, and they don't know how to get into it.
Yeah.
Had a client recently that
Now you're frustrated, man.
is sadly going through a divorce. Well, actually, he's pretty happy about this divorce.
Happy about the divorce, but she commandeered the URL.
But the email was hers, and I contacted him because his domain, we got an alert on our system that the domain needed to be renewed. So I told him, I said, okay. And he contacted her, and she renewed it, and then told him, wanted $10,000 to hand it over to him.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I didn't do that.
I mean, in his defense, it was his wife, man.
Yeah.
And he did own it. It was just part of the property there. Rude situation.
But it was on, but I mean, she actually registered for him on her email when he did it.
Yeah.
You know, like on a personal email, not a business email, you should keep that stuff separate.
Agreed.
And, but that's just one of those things that I feel strongly about.
So get your GBP, get Google Business Profile. Literally just Google Business Profile.
Right.
And
follow the directions. The basic setup is easy to do. You can do it in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Plus getting the postcard for verification.
Understand that we do way more than this to help you show up in ranking, but these are basic things that you can do to start a relationship.
Right. Just to sort of declare to Google that you exist.
Right. I'm a good guy. We're here. Things are legit. I'm going to start getting reviews to my Google Business Profile. And then if you do business with someone, they got a better place. I'm going to tell you a couple other things that I promise. Told this guy to say some stuff. Get those reviews. Don't take the website URL down ever. Don't let it go dead. So if it goes,
even if it's a one pager with your logo, a single paragraph, and a phone number, that's better than nothing.
Don't let it go dead. And then I'll leave you with one other thing. I got tons of stuff I could say, but if you can and you're new, have topical relevance and user intent throughout. So that just means that the word in the company, you'll have the word plumbing in the company. Make sure that's usually not a problem for a plumber, but make sure the company has the word plumber, plumbing in it.
And no rooter doesn't count.
Rooter is going to get you nothing but clogs and drain stuff, and if that's all you're doing, that's fine. But the user intent of the entity through Google and LSI which is a different thing. That is all rooter words.
Yeah,
they're going to have a hard time showing you.
They know it's related to plumbing, but they don't consider it equivalent to plumbing.
They don't give you as much credit for all the words to show up as I.
Right.
And the genre of words that have to do with plumbing services.
Right.
So the word would have plumbing in it, and it'd also have it in the URL. The word plumbing, it'd be in the URL, plumber or plumbing.
Right.
And so that's topically relevant. And then all that stuff together. We'll consult you with all this stuff if you become a client. Like all this stuff will be explained and consulted, and we would explain all this. I'll have an hour-long conversation with someone every once in a while, just explaining the confusion in the marketplace we're talking about, what now needs to be done, and how to keep their brand secure and get pushed forward to where they begin to dominate online.
Right.
Which we obviously help them with. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there at the end. We may try to do a few things at the end of every one just to give people
just
help.
some pointers.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff that I was talking about with J-Matt the other day. Like, we could talk about blogging, keywords, content. We could go over the basics. We haven't talked about it. Things change.
Yeah, true.
Things have changed since we did all those old podcasts, you know?
I think old ones aren't as good anymore.
No, not as good. All right, guys. Take it easy. That ought to do it for this time around. I hope to hear from you. You guys give us a call. We'll see you.
Hit like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Take it easy.